Thank you, sir. Appreciate it very much. The sacrifices these special operators make is amazing. They do it at night. They do it in horrible weather. They do it against fanatical enemies, and they are risking it all on every objective in the bloody crucible of ground combat. Sometimes you may hear about the mission or what they accomplished, and oftentimes you never will. They don't do these missions for glory. They do it for America, and they do these missions consistently and routinely without complaint. These were comments made by our chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley. Good morning. Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate it, General Hammond, for the kind introduction. I'm quite humbled at the invitation to be here this weekend. And thanks to Home Base, the Red Sox Foundation, and all of the corporate sponsors for honoring our Special Operation Forces this year, the quiet professionals who have about 5,000 service members currently deployed right now to nearly 80 countries around the world, working tirelessly at home and abroad to keep our nation safe. It's such a wonderful opportunity for me and my boys to return to this incredible city of Boston, a city that has always been the driving leader in academia, business, governance, sport, and healthcare. And how fitting that this event be held in the oldest active baseball stadium in our country, described by Ken Burns as the sport which helped us as a nation through some of our darkest times. Baseball is America's game, and it was for that reason that during the Great Depression that Franklin Roosevelt refused to cancel baseball, because he recognized we needed to persevere and remain strong. We also needed something to look forward to bring happiness despite tough times. We saw this again decades later after 9/11, when to the shock of many, the games resumed that following Monday. America may have been wounded, but she would not be stopped. Baseball helped persevere our strength and gave America hope. Home Base does the same for America's veterans. My name's Kevin Trujillo. I've been married for 19 plus blissful years. My wife had me add in blissful. My wife's Kimberly. We have two extraordinary sons, Jacob and Nathan, who are both here with me today. As you heard earlier, I've had the privilege to command and serve in special operation assignments for nearly 20 years. So for me personally, in 2019, following my 10th combat deployment, I was given the opportunity to come to Boston for a fellowship. And so in July of that year, I brought the family here, and we lived just outside of Boston in Arlington. As I was fresh off a deployment away from fellow Green Berets, and with no deployment on the horizon, I lacked a mission. And to make matters worse, I found myself in a classroom environment. And if you know anything about the Green Beret profile, this was a recipe for disaster. I was tired, angry, irritable, couldn't sleep, unable to focus, and growing more anxious by each day. And looking back now, it was clear that I was experiencing some cognitive complications resulting from repeated blast exposures. I also had persistent pain from multiple nagging injuries, which I just didn't have the time to address. And years of back-to-back combat deployments were finally taking their toll. And I was falling into the proverbial dark place. And it was, for me, my darkest time. So I did what most Green Berets do best, to push through tough times. I compartmentalized and I compensated. But as time went on, these hidden fractures became more evident. And I was strongly considering pulling my name from the command list. But no one knew, not even my family knew, how bad that I really was feeling. And finally, I had to acknowledge that I needed some help. And with the strong advisement and the support of my wife, I applied for and was accepted into the Home Base intensive clinical program. And this was a huge step for me, and ultimately became a life-changing event. And so for me, the power of Home Base aligns with one of our Special Operation Forces truths, that Humans are more important than hardware, and this is abundantly evident at home base, as I've never encountered a more dedicated and genuine and professional team of healthcare providers. And the collaborative network of these professionals and the access that was afforded to me with every specialty I needed right there on site was just truly unprecedented. And so the care focuses on a holistic approach covering mind and body and targets the source and the origin of your problem, tailoring treatments specific to each patient. And I was never just a number to them. Most importantly, the providers at home base know the physical requirements, demand, and the stressors of GWAT veterans and the tolls of the stressors that they took on the individual. And they also understand the importance of including your family in the treatment program, as they are an instrumental part of our readiness in the armed forces. The family serves with us, and as such, are also affected by any and everything affecting the service member. So I must say to our loved ones, the spouses, the partners, parents, and friends that are here today, if you're serving National Guard, active duty reserve, you are often the early warning system for your service member, and I can assure you they will not have their security clearance taken away or their career ended for seeking help. So here is my call to action. If you find yourself struggling, get help. No one can do it alone, and it takes a community. Special Operation Forces have unique mission sets, and our country asks so much of us, and we answer that call and carry its burden willingly. But it can come at a great cost. It's a tough business, but we're all human after all. We can have the most advanced weaponry, the greatest technologies, but none of this matters if we aren't taking care of ourselves and our teammates. Our military community, it's a family. And as a family, we must know and action the distress signs to better care for one another. My last words for home base. Thank you. A million times, thank you so much for your support of our service members, for your love, for your sense of community, and for continuing to be a pioneer of impactful change. Your mark is duly noted, and I'm a personal testament to this. Stay the course, for you are rescuing our brothers and sisters in arms, experiencing the darkest times of their lives, and in doing so, you fortify their strength and you reignite their hope. Thank you all very much. Go Sox!